Identify gamers, my right sleeve is completely soaked, which is not really fun. You know what also isn't fun? Rank. Now, rank has actually been fun, but it hasn't been very good to me, let's just say. Oh, this win rate is so bad, bro. 27.5, and it was even worse. It was at 22 a couple of days ago. Oh man, it's been really bad, bro. 234 matches and 46 wins. It is rough out here, bro. It is very, very rough out here. But I'm learning a lot. And today we're going to be reviewing some of the losses, some of the ties, and some of the wins to kind of just see, you know, what rank has really been treating me like. I, of course, am on Team RIPTide, so I am playing with them. I'll kind of talk about the players and our factions and what we play in the matches, so let's just get right into it. Here we go. So the main team that we have here is we have Mim, Adra, Shad, and myself. And our roles are, we've kind of been switching it up a little bit, but Shad is usually a kiter. Shad plays a whole lot of different things. Mostly been playing Lanternist this season. As for Adra, who's about to take Chase here, Adra's been a bit of a mixed bag as well. Mostly plays Aeroplanist with Tide, but we also have been experimenting with them running decoders like Prisoner and Lawyer. They play Doctor sometimes. And he's probably the best kiter, or most consistent kiter, I would say, on our team. Then we have Mim, who was playing Rescuer for a while. Was our main rescuer, usually just playing like Gamekeeper, First Officer, stuff like that. But now they're moving on to playing Enchantress. And then I am the final member. We have me on Prospector, Archer, and Antiquarian. I usually only play those three characters, one of those three. And as you can see here, the Soul Weaver is just utilizing these things really, really well. I'm also practicing better, by the way. It's not rank ready yet, though. Anyways, so just to kind of make sure the kite is good, we're going to burn out the two Dr. Drinky Drinks. I like to call them apple juices. So burning out those little apple juices right there. And we're going to be getting the second hit here. So this is already a good kite. At least in terms of the ciphers, we just need a force trait, which I believe happens right here. Yeah, happens right there. So that's a good kite. That is a good kite. And this was, I think this was on like day 3, I want to say. Day 3 or 4 of the new season rank. And this is back when we were still kind of like figuring out kind of what to do and what our comps were going to be. So this is still kind of like in an experimental stage. I am running full kite Prospector. I still do not believe in full kite in rank, but I believe in full kite if you are teamed up. If you're solo ranking, I'm still not a huge fan of full kite. Not until champion, at least not until champion rank. Just because I just think it's just too much. But you know, I was talking to Green from B4U, and Green highly recommended bringing full kite on Prospector due to the fact that it makes his harassment potential higher, and if he gets chased, it's kind of hard to deal with a lot of things early game with only like a single flywheel and a magnet. You got to be like really, really, really good to do that. So I think in this current stage, since we're losing so much, I have to bring full kite. However, I do miss the flywheel right there. The Weaver does a good job baiting it out, assuming that I have it. But I did stall for a little bit of time, and because the Gravekeeper's rescue was uninjured, because the Soul Weaver was distracted by me earlier, we just kind of trade health states. So it's actually not the worst thing in the world. But I probably should have saved my flywheel. Looking back at this match, I should have saved my flywheel because most Weavers will wait when they're super, super fast like that. I'm not playing Copycat, bro. You can't make me. I will not be playing Copycat. Anyway, so we're going to see Mim come in here for the second rescue here. Let's see the Gravekeeper, the speedy rescue, web shot, and good rescue. Good rescue. Except unfortunate about the farm though, because our ciphers were pretty far there. We would have really liked to see a body block, and canceling the shovel is quite unfortunate there for our grave, and that is going to be the double down there. But we should have good enough ciphers. So you're going to be noticing in some of the matches that I'm showing you right now is that we are actually using audience effect. If you look at our characters, I don't think Adra had it because we were expecting Adra to take kite. I don't know why Mim didn't have it either. Did anybody have it? Okay, Shad and I had it at least. Shad and I had audience effect here. We've been utilizing audience effect in our matches. However, we are now not utilizing it anymore. And I'll kind of tell you about that a little bit later. But we're using it at the start, and now we're no longer using it. temporarily. We're focusing on fundamentals for now. But yeah, as you can see here, we're in a pretty good tying position. However, there's one problem. Shad's getting cut off from the rescue. I don't have borrowed time, and the last cipher is right here. So the Weaver is just gonna abnormal. I love her abnormal animation though. It's so cute. She just goes like taps on it. It's really goofy. So I have to go for the rescue now since Shad is getting super, super hard cut off. And at this point, the best thing for Mim and I to do is probably heal here. I was just gonna like decode a little bit, and I think we call for the heal here. However, because I think Mim accidentally picked up the webs, now the spider can see where our Gravekeeper is, our dead on chair Gravekeeper, which is not good. Because Shad has been pushed really, really far from the cipher, and now our Gravekeeper is getting chased here, which is pretty rough, pretty rough here. And I'm just gonna start supporting a little bit here because again, I am doing playing the 3 harassers. Although I think yeah, Shad had to get rid of the little webs before they start decoding there. And at this point, we're just trying to harass. We're just trying to harass right now. And then I think there was a miscommunication because where Shad was going. Shad was just got on the cipher earlier because I'm harassing, so we kind of need this to. We kind of need the cipher to get done, but I think this was like one of those miscommunication things since this is still one of our very first days. So we're just this is where our team was like kind of what am I trying to say? Where we're just kind of like all playing solo and not really communicating well. We're kind of just like doing the best that we can as individuals, which like wasn't really good. We don't really start working as a team until I want to say a little bit later. But at this point, the Weaver thinks the cipher is going to be primed. I'm just trying to stall the magnet. So my final magnet, and unfortunately, the Weaver has the web, so she can just kill Grave, and that is going to be it. So at this point, it's just slugfest. We cannot pop the cipher in time, unfortunately, due to the miscommunication, and that is a loss. So what's been happening to us a lot in rank is that we are so very often. We have like decent kites that force trait, and then we still lose, which is really, really not good. But yeah, this game is already over, so we'll just move on to the next one. All right, next up, we're up against the first Night Watch on the server. Same team here. We got one changed character though, and that is that Shad is on the Lanternist. We thought Shad was going to take kite here, but he actually went toward middle to chase the Gravekeeper a little bit first. This forces me out of the hospital where I spawned. I spawned in hospital specifically. Because we're trying to have like, we're trying to make it so that Doctor might get chased so that I can support for Doctor. That way I'm spawning in strong areas so they don't chase me. That was kind of like one of our earlier plans. This is still, I think, like day 5 of rank or something like that. But of course he actually leaves, and this is not the best because Adra's out of position, and this means that this is basically going to be a free hit for the Night Watch onto Doctor. If they were a strong kiter, maybe Adra could have won the first hit there, but unfortunately not. And they did also leave ruins, which is not the best routing. So with the blink almost coming up here and the Night Watch having some good resources, this is kind of just setting up Adra for failure due to miscommunication, mispositioning, and whatnot. But as long as we can force blink, this can still be a tie, right? That's the biggest thing is like our first chase needs to force blink. If you can force blink or force trait, it's usually a good kite. Unfortunately, we are unable to force the trait there. Night Watch did win the mind game there, so a little bit unfortunate. But now we're going to be sending in the Gravekeeper here, Mim, for the first rescue. While we are going to be, I think we still make use of Audience Effect in this match. I think, yeah, both Shad and I believe have it. Yep, we do indeed have it. And I was really surprised. This Night Watch brought Hunt. I've never seen Hunt Night Watch like in my entire life, but sure. So Grave's coming in. Got the cheeky Gravekeeper shovel. What is the Night Watch pet? It's a treasure chest with like a bat wing? That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That or I just never paid attention to it. We try to go for a Terror Shock play, but we do not get it here, unfortunately. And then, unfortunately, we actually do double down here as well, which is not good. And then we're unable to get enough distance here, and then the Night Watch does mind game our Doctor. And with our ciphers, this is just looking really, really bad right now. So this is where it's kind of unfortunate because we once again had like a pretty solid kite, and now we're in a losing position just due to mistakes. So this is what was happening to like a lot of our games where we make mistakes and then or we have a solid start, and then we make too many mistakes in our mid game and late game especially. We're really like 50-50 on our late games, which can make things a little tough. So we try to delay this rescue here, play a little bit of mind games, doing my best to delay the rescue here, but this is a bit of an awkward chair. Kind of a tricky spot to harass the Night Watch because he does a good job of getting the stun to minimize the stun there. And then I realize he still has Blink, so I gotta be careful. I get a cheeky flywheel, which is pretty nice. That was like the only thing that I was proud about in this game. Because everything else was not the best. And it's unfortunate because even though I got the flywheel, I think I still die really, really soon. Because at this point, I bank on hiding here. This is not really the best area to kite Night Watch full present, especially since he has confined space. But I was banking on hiding. And one thing that I was taught here, we actually had Aaron, before Aaron reviewed this match, we actually spent like 35 minutes, actually more like a half hour reviewing this one single match and going over fundamentals and whatnot, and how we could have tied it. But one thing that Aaron did say is that if you're banking on hiding, like let's say you're in a very similar position to me, and you're like trying to bank on hiding, do not hide in a kiting area. That's what Aaron was telling me. Do not hide in a kiting area. Since I'm in a kiting area, he's gonna be checking here. What I should have done is I should have tried to hide like around the rocks or the trees or something. That way it would have wasted more of his time checking an area where a server would normally be. But since I am here, he does find me very, very early, and that should have been a pull. But I was panicking here, and unfortunately my mind is on cooldown, so I cannot do anything about the triple wind walk or whatever that was. I think that was like a triple wind walk. Pretty tough. And then the rest of this, I'm pretty sure, was literally just farm city. I mean, I don't really think we need to go over the rest of it. This is already a losing position. But, you know, I was really embarrassed because I remember I saw the Night Watch and I was like, all right, guys, this is draw watch, bro. There's no way we lose the Night Watch. And then we lost the Night Watch, and it was pretty sad. And that was also a minimized stun. I forget how that happened. I think I got stuck on the Gravekeeper there or something, so the stun was minimized. And then yeah, we just gotta play mind games here. We go for the cheeky prospector trick, which is nice, but unfortunately it's just not enough. The ciphers are just too far behind, and it's unfortunately it's not enough. And that was just a really good bait from our Night Watch. And we just get the loss at this point. There's no coming back from this, unfortunately, and he goes for some stickers there. So yeah, unfortunately, this is how a lot of our games have been going in rank, but as of recently, it's slightly starting to get just a little bit better, just a little bit. Okay, this match, I'm only gonna show you one part because this is mostly just this S-Badge Antiquarian that was our random that just kind of carried the game. However, I accidentally threw this game in a really, really funny way because it wasn't even really like my fault thing. It wasn't even like a bad play. It was literally just a misclick, but it was actually really funny. You might be wondering why am I playing Tide Meteor here. I'm playing Tide Meteor just because whenever we get a random that plays Harasser, I usually tend to go Meteorologist or Novelist, so that is why. Otherwise, though, it has been those three characters, like I said earlier. Okay, so look at our Cypher Rush here. Our Cypher Rush is actually really, really good. With the Tide Tenor, we should probably be able to make a 4-person endgame. Like, we're in a really, really good position. All I need to do is just delay this rescue here just a little bit. And I'm playing mind games. I'm like, ooh, I'm cooking him, I'm Freerin Blast, I'm cooking him. Okay. Just gotta get this Tide to the rescue, and we win! Oh. Oh, I was so mad, dude. I was like, are we serious? In the locker, bro? Because on PC, it's the same button. It's Q is the default. It's the same button. And with Tide Tuner, that would have been it, bro. We would have had it. I was so mad. I felt so bad because I was like, dude, I just literally lost like some stupid, because the locker and the chair are right next to each other, and the button for some reason, even though I was close to the chair, it prioritized the stupid locker. We do end up tying, which is nice so we don't lose, but I was still really sad about that because I was like, are we serious, bro? And that's never happened to me before either. That is the first time in my entire IDV career that a play like that has happened. However, it's happened in pro play like 3 times before, so I didn't feel as bad because I was like, okay, this literally happens to like the pros as well. Okay, next match, we've got, this is one where Adra was on Prisoner. This time, we're going up against a Breaking Wheel. This is Lalzi. If you guys know Lalzi, they are the hosts of the Identify Premier Tournament, the nice community tournaments for NAEU. Really, really cool tournaments. They also have like a lot of, you know, top NAEU players that enter them. And they're really, really fun to watch. So shout out to Lalzi there. And I think we've gotten Lalzi, I want to say like at least, oh gosh, how many times in rank? I think our team has gotten Lalzi at least 10 times in rank. And I'm not even kidding, dude. I think the record of us versus them is just dead 50-50. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think like of the multiple times we've got them, it's been like 3 draws, 3 wins, 3 losses. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. It's like dead even between Lalzi and our team. It's just been like, it's like you never really know. It's like every match we go into it and we see that it's Lalzi, it's like we never really know what the result is. So with this point, I'm experimenting with some early game harassment. Because we're still experimenting like harassment and whatnot. And Adra's just, you know, doing really, really well here, kiting very, very well. And the goal is force blink. We need to try to force blink, get a really good flywheel there, which will force the blink. And then I'm like, okay, it's time to antique dealer all over the place, bro. It is time to antique deal it up because the trait has been force, which means it's not excitement, which means I can harass here now. Now, unfortunately, the 2 decoders are -20 and -10 if Lantis doesn't use her boost. So we're not getting the most out of this harassment. And we are harassing. And I think we go for a decent flywheel there. I was really happy about that fly because I was holding down the flywheel the entire time. And then we get the cheeky harassment here. And then we get the body blocks. That's a pretty decent harass. The only issue is the wheel is now at full presence. So we just need to keep up the Cypher Rush right now. Cypher Rush needs to get done. You may also notice that we have full Kite Prisoner and Tide Knee-Jerk Lanternus. This is probably not the best. We were more just experimenting with builds here. But we've been experimenting with like Tide Lanternus and putting her like in a really strong area so that she doesn't get chased, so that she can come in with Tide Turner. Because ain't nobody chasing Tide Lanternus in a strong area. It's like the same logic with like Tide Meteor and whatnot. Or like Tide Acro. You'll give them like a half decent area with Tide Center, and then like the hunter will just never chase them. So Adra is really, really good there. I believe canceling the full presence with the shock. So this kite has gone really, really well. Unfortunately, our Cypher Rush is still quite slow. I think it's because I was getting healed, and now Lanternus is boosting the Cypher. And then Mim will come in here for the first rescue. And, you know, Cyphers are looking really, really good. Like, after harassment, that's like, what, 3 Cypher Kite, which is really, really good. So, basically, our goal right now is to double Tide and then harass. Like, that is the biggest thing that we want to do right here. However, I think this was a relatively early rescue. Let's see here. Yeah, it could have been a little bit later. But not a bad rescue, though. Not a bad rescue. And the Cypher Rush is looking quite good here, because we have almost 4 done, which is really nice. And then we're just going to be connecting ciphers that we need to get done. I'm not sure why we actually hit the prisoner there. I think we were trying to maybe disrupt the connection, but that actually just bought a few extra seconds. So I think that was actually a misplay from the wheel, unfortunately. So at this point, I think we also had a miscommunication here. Again, we had a lot of miscommunication on our earlier days. It's starting to get better. We're still miscommunicating, I think, a good amount now, but it's getting better. So I thought I was gonna rescue, and then Lanternist and our Shad and Mim were gonna duo decode, but we actually had Lanternist coming in for the Tide Center, and then we would harass like in a corner. I think that was like the strategy that they wanted to go for. So it was like a miscommunication moment. But at this point, we just got to keep our prisoner alive. Now the biggest thing is the no borrowed time is really, really gonna hurt us here. And the last cipher is 27, and I believe it's being boosted by Shad's Lanternist here. Yes, it is. And yeah, again, at this point, I think we try to cancel. Yeah, I'm surprised we actually didn't get the snap cancel. It actually went through. So now he's got to harass. Now we got to just do some antique dealer gaming, bro. Antique dealer is so good. We can easily take a hit because we don't have any spikes on us, which is really nice. And Shad is here as well to try to go for some cheeky bonus support. I was really surprised watching back that I did not get blinked here, but I was also ready for the blink the entire time. I was like full on, I'm just reacting, I'm reacting. And then we get one little cheeky stun. I probably should have gone for 2 there, but I didn't know about the cipher. And then I get a little greedy here. I should have said Skyfall no greedy. Don't know how that doesn't hit, by the way, because I'm telling you if I'm the hunter that hits. But it's fine. So unfortunately, we do lose Adra toward the end game, and since nobody was on a gate, we cannot get the 3. And also, Lalzi does have the tension So this is going to be pretty tough to get any form of 3 escape, especially with detention plus blink. So we're kind of just camping out hotel here, and I think Shad gets chased here. I forget this endgame. I'm pretty sure Shad gets chased here, and I think Shad just does a good job until blink, and then we just get the gate up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because I remember telling Mim, you can do the gate because you have watch, I'll just chill in the back because I have no items, while Shad will distract. And at this point, this is just like a guaranteed tie, or yeah, guaranteed tie at this point, since the wheel has now committed to Shad. And I'm telling you, Lantinus is so good, bro. Lantinus is such a good character, bro. She's being banned all the time, which I don't even blame hunters for doing it, because she is so freaking strong, dude. She is so incredibly disorienting, like, going up against her, dude. I really do not like fighting Lantinus. She is not fun. Maybe it's just I just haven't fought her enough, but she is not really a fun character to fight at all. She's just incredibly, incredibly weird and tricky to face. But yeah, we got a decent tie there, which we were pretty happy about. All right, and then this next match here, I think this is a match where I took Kite, but this is another one where we get to see how good Lanternus is as a character as well. But we're gonna be against the Waxstars here on Hospital, and let me tell you, I think, oh yeah, we also did not have Mim this session. We had Clue, who was subbing in. Clue's one of Adra's buddies, and they play a lot of Journalists. Their Journalist is pretty good with the instant Orpheus, but yeah, I'm doing the full Kite with the Prospector here. I think I waited a little bit too long because I do end up taking Kite here. But this is fine because I have Hospital, and Hospital's broken. And I remember during this match, I won't tell you the result of this match, but I remember, like, I think during this session we just had nothing but losses and losses and losses. So I remember I was it was a rough day this day. It was a pretty rough day. So we go for the cheeky stun, stop the Wax Artist there. I'm surprised that stun wasn't like a little bit longer, but I guess it's just the Wax Artist built-in thing. I love how I take 80 wax just for dropping a pallet. I think that's just really, really cool. We just absolutely love Wax Artists out here, guys. We love Wax Artists. So what's really nice is full Kite is really, really helping out here because Knee Jerk is allowing me to get so much distance. And I know the Wax is about to get more wax on me, so guess what? I call for Shad's little thingy, and look. I hit 100, but because of the Lanternist, the 100 stun is delayed. This Wax Artist dumped me fast, by the way. I get the flywheel on the 100 wax to continue my first Kite, which is, or my first, I guess the Kite before I get my first hit, which is just really, really good. So, you know, not taking my first hit until like right now, this was just really, really, really good. Now, I did hear the Insolence at this point. And he's Inso Confined, which is like full max pursuit build. And I know he's gonna go for a Wax Bomb, so I'm gonna try to trick him, which actually does kind of work out there. Because I wanted to like stay in this little area here. And then we get the Cypher speed boost here, and I think I make a misplay very soon, because I don't remember what I thought he had. I think I thought he had Blink here. But Shad does delay the 100 again, and I try to go, okay, let me see if I can pause right here. Okay, so when I threw this magnet, what I should have done was I should have gone around the wall to the right side, but I greeted, and I tried to get around to the left side of the wall. However, the thing didn't last long enough, and this happens, which was pretty bad. If I went around this side and got the stun, I just maybe would have been able to make it to that window to be able to potentially force Blink. Would have been hard, but we maybe would have been able to force Blink there. Regardless, that's a really decent first Kite. And after like a near, like all day losses, I remember we were like, okay, we can win. Because we have double Tide Turner, our Cyphers are 30 and 30, we can win. So Adra has to post up here for the first rescue. Because when you 3-Cypher Kite like that, you should win. Even with a Sui build, because Prospector Sui, I can always go for Instant Magnet off chair, which is really, really good. So at this point, I'm just using my knee jerk to just die out in a corner. I'm not even trying to rebound here. Not even trying. It's just, I need to die toward Journalist Cypher, but not too close to the point where he can pressure it. It just has to be like, you know, somewhere nearby. So I die over here. And this is really, really far away from the backup Cypher that Adra is on. And this is also not on Shad Cypher either. So those two can get pushed just fine. And then we have our Journalist here who can just make a good rescue with the Tide Turner here. Now, I want to see this from the Wax perspective because I'm actually really surprised that he actually didn't see the Journalist here. Yeah, he actually doesn't see the Journalist. I was actually really surprised because from the Journalist POV, it looks like you should be able to easy see. but he did not see the journalist, which is actually really good for us. We go for the instant Orphe just to guarantee the rescue at this point because we don't want to go for the farm. Window opens, and at this point, I think I just call for the pop because I know he's not going to go for journalist. And I get stuck on the chest, unfortunately, which was really, really bad. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I just gotta die off in a corner. Luckily, Shad is already on the gate, so we just gotta hyper-optimize our death by stunning him one last time to buy a few extra seconds, and then, you know, dying in the absolute corner, which is enough for the win, which we were really, really happy about, because, like, oh my gosh, it took us so long to win. Now, don't get me wrong, it took a no detention wax on a hospital with a full kite prospector with Lantern to support to somehow get a 3. But even then, we were still happy, dude. All right, next match. We're up against an Ivy, and we have a perfumer out here who's our random, but it's gonna be Mim, Adra, myself. I'm rocking the Archer this time because I really like playing Archer on Chinatown specifically. And this was, I don't think I'll show the full match because I think I saved this just because of, I realized that, wow, Archer is actually pretty good into Ivy, because at first I was like, huh. When I heard the Ivy, I was like, oh, this is gonna be really, really hard. And then I realized, oh my gosh, Archer's actually really good against Ivy. The problem is, you take your first hit very early. So you'll watch this here. I see the 61 and I'm like, okay, she's gonna be on me very, very soon. I need to try to get an arrow on her. Oops, main body scare. And then I get hit. And I'm like, okay, this is not good. I took such an early hit. And I think to myself, wait a minute. Now what? Now what does she do? She has to, she can't repossess onto me for like 40 seconds. And now the insolence, so it's like 38. And I'm like, okay, I just realized something. If I just shoot her when she drops down, or like, I think it was, all right, I already shot, yeah, I shot her right there actually. If I just keep shooting her from far away and walk in a straight line, she can't do anything. Like look, like she literally can't do anything. She got stunned. And then by the time my second arrow is ready, she's gonna keep walking towards me. I could just shoot her again. Now, unfortunately, the speed of Bragi kind of slows me down here a little bit. But I was just like, dang, Archer's actually pretty good. So I know she's gonna go for the repossession, but I got a little cheeky thing called crossbow, which allows me to leave myself at 59. And I'm like, you know what? I hear her, she's gonna blink me. We get the flywheel. I've been going for a blink predict, bro. I'm just been trusting my gut, and honestly, I think I've been getting like 30% accurate blink predict results, which is pretty nice. And then I kind of just like stall it out here. I wait for the red light, and then I just kind of die off over here. That was a pretty good kite, you know. It was around 3 ciphers. We did unfortunately end up losing this game, mostly due to miscommunication with our random. We almost had it though. We were really, really close, but we did actually lose this game, sadly. Especially after a first kite like that. I was a little sad, but it's fine. But yeah, Archer actually does pretty well into Ivy. That's what I learned after that kite. All right, next match. This is going to be Gamekeeper on Moonlit. Quite a scary character to go up against here on Moon River Park. I think this was just Adra, Clue, and myself this time. And I did not know where he was at first, so I was kind of just waiting at first because I was a little bit scared. And they are, of course, going to be on the little child here. And I think Clue, unfortunately, does not get the best of kites here, if I remember correctly. Usually they're able to kite like a good 60, but I think this one they just got tripped up by the Gamekeeper here. Let's see. Yeah, I think with the trap, that's unfortunately, I think it was just really, really set up because this area, don't get me wrong, this area is extremely hard against Gamekeeper. Because he sets up the trap where you drop from the window, and it's like, okay, what do you do? And then basement. So what happens to Gamekeeper and Moonlit if you get base set on Moon River Park? It's almost always a sell. So I tell, yeah, I think Lanternus pings for the forget about saving, and I think I also ping about forget about saving. So that's basically the goal. We just aim to sell here because we do not have ciphers. Luckily, I don't get the wanted order from the Gamekeeper, which is really good. So we aim to sell here, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. And I realized after watching some pro gameplay how Archer beats Gamekeeper as well. Because at first, when I was going up against Gamekeepers initially as Archer, I also got spotted out there, which is really bad. That was really, really bad from me. Should not have greeted for that. We're just going to use the Weber's Law to try to avoid the hook hit here. We do I avoid the hook, and I run back into him like a bot, which is kind of bad, but it's fine. So at this point, I'm just going to set up here for a coaster play, and then here's what you do. So the thing about Archer is that if you get caught by Bane's hook, Crossbow does not dodge it. it does nothing. It's not enough. However, what they do in tournaments against Gamekeeper, I've seen this like a couple times. They shoot him right when they think his hook is ready. And I knew his hook's about to come up because I knew he missed it earlier, so it's like 12-second cooldown. So I shoot him here, and then when he catches me, I crossbow. That's how you play Archer into Gamekeeper. You use the arrow first and then the crossbow after he hooks you. That's usually the plan. And then we just try to go for a cheeky fly onto the coaster, and we barely make it in time thanks to the flywheel. I was like, whew, that was close. So that was really good. And then, unfortunately, I cannot do that same trick before because now I am one chip away. So I think I just go for a regular shot there. And I know he's like, okay, I know he's on cooldown right now. I do mess up my routing here a little bit, but I know he's on the cooldown because he had to catch up super fast with his hook. And now I'm like, okay, now it's ready. But what I can do is I can go for one more little crossbow to just extend the kite a little bit longer, which is what we needed, especially since we had to end up selling. And then I think I just get a little bit greedy here. Unfortunately, I just have to wait here. And I think I do end up getting greedy here. I think I dropped the pallet like right here. Yeah, I got greedy, which I should not have done. And then look at this. I got terror shock, bro. Yeah, I just barely touched the pallet and it counted as the TS. It wouldn't matter though. I was still dead regardless of the TS, and it still would have been full presence, so it really didn't matter. But I still thought it was funny that it said terror shock, even though it's just barely any, like, you can't even notice. You don't even notice it, bro. It's just so funny. Anyway, the Lanchas gets a good sneaky rescue here, and then allows me to vault because she's body blocking, so I don't have to worry about the hook. And then I think at this point, let's see. I don't remember what the result. I think the result of this match was like a tie or something. I don't remember. I actually don't remember. But I just remember being pretty proud of the how I played the Gamekeeper versus Archer matchup. Because harassers are, while they are strong characters, they are kind of hard to play. They are quite tricky to play. And I think at this point I just try to stall for as long as I can. Unfortunately, not as long as I really wish I could have. But with the double decode, oh my gosh, look at the cipher, bro. Jumped from 20 to like 80. It's basically primed now. Unfortunately though, I am getting chaired on the cipher, and I was really worried about an abnormal here. I was like, be careful, be at chair because he's gonna potentially abnormal. And then he just goes for the swing, and we go for the tide turner here. And actually moves to go for Adra, which I was surprised about. Swings, we get the pop here. And then I shoot him because I just want to be like, okay, I want us to get distance. I want us to be able to split. I go for my last arrow. I'm like, okay, if he comes after me, I don't care. I can kite, I have flywheel, I'm confident. Unfortunately though, this is smart from the Gamekeeper. He goes after Adra. Now Adra does have way more items. However, the issue is we are so far from first stop, and he's gonna have trait, which is really, really bad. So I think we actually aim to sell here. I think Lynchon actually plays like a really, really risky game, but it actually does end up working out for us here. Because he can't TP unless he checks like around this area. And I think he does end up getting Tinnitus, or not. Does he get Tinnitus in the Lantern? He didn't actually fully check the corner because she was like all the way in this corner, which was really good. And he does warp back to the chair, which was fine. And then Lanterness, of course, has the dungeon. And after she hears him going back through the warp, she decides to go for dungeon while he comes for me. So we did end up getting the tie in this match, which was pretty good. And I was pretty happy about how I played the matchup. So that's why I saved this one. Okay, next match. This time I think it was just Adra, myself, and Mim with a prisoner random out here. They went full kite, which is fine. We kind of expected them to not get chased. I think we were actually expecting Adra to potentially get chased, but it is going to be Mim who is on Enchantress here. And I remember this start was like pretty bad because I didn't realize the Lock Cipher would be back here. I was just gonna go back here to decode. And I'm like, I don't really have a good cipher here to work with. And I think because Mim was not expecting to get chased, they do actually take 2 spikes relatively early. And unfortunately, I think we do go down quite early. But because I didn't have a cipher to work on, I'm just like, okay, it's harassment time. It's Archer gaming time, bro. It is Archer gaming time. So very similar to last time we went up against Lalzi's wheel. We are just harassing at 5 ciphers. And at this time though, what's good is the cipher rush is way faster. Last time we had a Lantinus and Officer, which is -30, but this time we have an Aeroplanist who's 102%, and a Prisoner who is +10 if you don't count the, you know, what is it? The loss connect, the loss from the connection or whatever. So we get 2 extended spikes forced out here, which is really good. And I try to make it not obvious where I'm going to be on the side of the pallet with the trap. We get the blink out. However, Mim is able to self-heal in time and get away. And now at this point, I've become the new chase target, which is fine because I have full resources. I have 3 arrows, I have 2 crossbows, and I have flywheel. And I'm like, okay, this is fine because 2 ciphers are now done. And even if he does go back for Mim, Mim has a 3-stack, which is just really, really good. Enchantress 3-stack is like, oh my gosh, it's so useful. Because if played right, Enchantress can get like 2 to 3 stacks a game. Now, I gotta commend Adra for this rescue. Adra did like a really, really, really good rescue here by getting that pallet stun right there. Maybe a small mistake from Lalzi putting themselves in the pallet, but it was good on Adra to recognize it there. Goes for the snap, and now it's like, okay, it's rebound time, bro. It's rebound time. This little spot right here is a really nice spot to kite wheel. I actually really like kiting wheel in this area because even though it feels really, really hard to move in this area, that also means it's really hard for the wheel to move in this area. You just kind of have to win these like micro spacing. Wheel's all like about micro spacing here and reading his movements. And while I'm not perfect at it, I feel like I'm getting better at like the micro spacing against a wheel, which is pretty nice. And you don't want to always like take the window there. So we get 1 spike there, but it's not enough for a snap, which is good. And then gotta go for the crossbow there because I need a little bit more distance. And I see that coming out there. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to my favorite little spot over here. And then maybe force him back into wheel form to maybe potentially get a snap. But at this point, there is going to be a target switch now onto Adra. Because I guess they knew that I had flywheel and didn't want to have to deal with the flywheel. And saw that Adra had Tide Turner, knew that the possibility of fly was pretty low. But we get a really, really good hover out there from Adra, canceling out accounting the full presence, which is really, really good. But unfortunately, I think Adra loses like a pallet mind game here or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, we lose the mind game. Lalzi just like walks right through it. But the ciphers are so good because guess who's been out here the whole time who's just free? It's the gosh darn prisoner, bro. The prisoner has been out there decoding the whole time, which is just really, really good for us. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I just don't want to get found. You know, we don't want to pop that cipher because it was, I think the cipher that we wanted to pop was, yeah, this one right here where Adra's being chaired on, and it's like way, way closer. So I'm just like, okay, I think I'll just go start like a backup cipher, right? Because I'm no longer the chase target. I'm just gonna go start a backup cipher while while Enchantress can now get the rescue here. And I believe, actually, I could have sworn somebody canceled full presence there, but I guess not. We take the spike. And we go for the 3-stack just to play it safe, which is fine. That's what you want to do. Play it safe in an advantage situation. Go for a few cheeky stuns right there. And they're going to be going for Prisoner now, realizing, okay, that this is the last cipher. We need to pressure it down. And I don't remember if Prisoner kites very long. I think he kites for like a little bit. I actually don't remember what happened after this match. All I know is that the end game was quite messy, but we still were able to play, I think, well enough. But yeah, we're gonna be going now for the Prisoner, who this is my one concern of this match. I think I remember I was like, okay, well, now that they're on the Prisoner, this might be a little tricky because the Prisoner does not have borrow, but does a really, really good flywheel to dodge the full presence. And of course, Lalzi being very, very safe with their blink, not trying to utilize the blink at all. And at this point, we have the backup cipher at 99, which is just ready to be primed whenever. And guess who has another 3-stack? Oh my goodness, Mim's got another 3-stack. I'm just gonna be ready up, posted on the gate. And at this point, you know, we're in a really, really good position here. We're in a really, really good position. We're just gonna go for rescue. We're just gonna pop because the Prisoner has no borrowed time. However, the issue was, the Prisoner died right towards me. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And they're like, okay, let me die base him. But it's like, buddy, I'm here. So then I was like, okay, this makes things a little tricky now because now I have to kite. And then we go for some micro spacing here. It's literally just micro spacing, dude. Oh my goodness. That does get the cheeky hit on me there. And then I think I go for a flywheel and full presence actually isn't ready here. It was 2 seconds away from being ready, so I burned my flywheel for no reason, which is a bit of a shame. But it's really hard to know. Get the cheeky stun just for the distance here. And at this point, it's just like, okay, I just gotta stay alive until Prisoner self-heals. That's all I have to do. Just gotta stay alive until Prisoner self-heals. And I still have a good amount of items to do so, which is nice. So we go for the crossroad just to get some distance there. Go for one more shot. And then we're just trying to buy time. This is all we're doing. We're just buying time here. Trying not to make it obvious where I'm going. And I think, unfortunately, I believe Walsey misses their blink here. Let's see. Yeah, they do somehow miss their blink. I don't know how that misses, but it does miss. And then I remember just like, okay, I'm just gonna try to go for a dungeon. Let's see if I can make it. Unfortunately, I think I was like just barely out of it. Yeah, just barely out of the dungeon, but it was really close. It was really, really close. And this was another game that I was pretty happy about with the harassment. Anyways, let's move on to the next match here. We're not gonna watch the full match because this one's actually just more funny than anything. You're gonna laugh at this one. So let me just say one quick thing. We as a team have been struggling to force out blink, and basically my ideology going into a lot of our matches now is that if I don't flywheel blink, we're gonna lose. That is kind of just like how I feel right now while playing rank, just because we've had such a rough season. Our win rate's literally like 27, bro. I mean, it was 22 a while ago. But it's been rough out here, and like I said, if I don't flywheel blink, we lose. That's kind of just how I feel. We do not get the full body block there. I feel like that's like a really, really tricky spot to get the body block. You know, Maid's doing a good kite here, I think, so far. Mim also does play Tide Magician here as well. Tide Magician is definitely super, super viable. I mean, he's a very, very simple kiter. With 3 wands, it's really not too difficult to kite with Magician. And then unfortunately, we do not force the blink here. We do just go down right next to the chair. But you're gonna get a kick out of this one, bro. This is funny. This is really funny, bro. This is really funny. So it's like, okay, this is a tie. I remember seeing these several. Okay, that's a decent kite. No trait force, unfortunately, but this is a tie, bro. This is definitely a tie. We just need like a couple good rescues while our barmaid also just can decode, especially since he can like go for like a rescue afterward. But I think Adra plays it safe. I think I want to say they hover in here. They do get a really good hover. Look at that hover. That's so good. Really, really good hover. But unfortunately, the Terror Shock does come out, which is a little sad. So now it's like, okay, well, it's no biggie. We can still maybe tie, right? We can still maybe tie. This is depressing. Oh man, this is depressing. So I gotta get out of range of the Soul Siphon. I gotta cancel that. And then watch this. This might be the most depressing thing ever, because there are two things. I'll tell you about it in just a second, but watch this. Ready for this? Ready? Okay, first off, I missed the instant magnet, which was really bad. But secondly, whenever Wu Chang swaps forms for his very first swing, it's like extra fast. Like for White Guard, it's like extra fast, right? So I had to deal with the extra fast swing on top of Blink. So we got double Terror Shock. All right, this next match, we're up against a Nightmare, which I was actually surprised that he didn't have confined. But this time we got, Lancers with Tide who are spawning in hospital because we want to keep our Tide Tuner safe. We have, Adra on the Aeroplanist, Mim on the Enchantress. I think this was a match from earlier today, actually. So this is like, we're getting a little bit better as a team. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to kite the Nightmare and Shaq because he's really, really fast. So I'm like, okay, I need ruins. Sorry, Mim, you gotta leave. I need ruins because I don't know how to kite this. But luckily it's a Nightmare, so I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna wait at the window. That's what you do in a Nightmare. You just wait at the window. Make sure you don't get red lighted. And at this point, it's just like, okay, it's kite time, bro. It is kite time. I remember telling my team, I was like, guys, just make sure to tell me when Blink's ready, because I don't know. So I think, yeah, I get my magnet broken there, which is really bad. I should have done a way better job of preserving my magnet there, which is really bad. So I go for the second one here, and I think I'm able to get the... Yeah, that's the kind of play that I wanted last time. And then I have to flywheel to the pallet, which is really, really good. And I remember telling my team, guys, is Blink ready? Where's Blink, guys? I see the warp. And I'm just not gonna bother vaulting that because I'm just, I'm not gonna risk it and get Terror Shocked. So I see the warp, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go hospital, bro. It's time to go hospital. But he's really fast. He's looking down. He's got the 21% speed boost, and I'm a little spooked, bro. I'm a little spooked. I think I barely make this pallet. Barely make the pallet, but I do not make it to the birdcage. I remember Shad saying, go birdcage, and I'm like, I'm going birdcage, I'm on my way. I don't make it though. But it was still a good enough kite. Unfortunately, I died on a Cypher, but it really doesn't matter since the Cypher was primed. And I remember being really scared. I was like, Shad, careful, he might just go for your little image there. But if he did, Shad was ready for the pallet drop, which is actually a pretty good strategy because it's a bait. I was like really nervous at first, but Shad was trying to bait him to the pallet to potentially get a pallet stun with the main body of Lanternus, and that's just like, I don't know, I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually so smart, because if he greeds for that, it's just a pallet stun, like guaranteed almost. And then, you know, he's on to Shad here for a little bit. I think he's just playing a little bit aggressive since he got kited, which means I can actually rebound here a little bit, and I do have access to Hospital, which is like, okay, it's rebound time, bro, it's rebound time. And since I have access to Hospital, it should be quite easy to rebound. I was actually expecting Confined Space here, though, but did not have Confined. So we get that pallet drop off here. Just in time, I go for the Insta-Magnet. Not really looking behind me because I know there's no need to if he picks up my Magnet. That's one thing about Prospector. I feel like it's developing a bad habit, is it's allowing me to, like, not look behind me as much because I'm kind of just trusting my Magnet. But I will say it's very helpful versus Ivy, because I kind of just like listen to the sound cues of my Magnet and just focus on my routing and making sure it's really tight, which is kind of helpful. And then, you know, full kite carrying here, full kite just absolutely carrying here. I'm allowed to loop the same Gosh Darn pallet over and over, because Knee Jerk, I don't know why they buffed Knee Jerk, bro. Knee Jerk was already good, and then they buffed it for some reason. I really don't know why. So with the Magnet, I'm able to get a cheeky stun here. I know he picks it up, so I don't even have to bother looking behind me. I'm just like, okay, this is fine. And I'm like, okay, just pop, because I'm not dead on chair. Let's keep this alive. I check back. I'm able to use my Cyber Seduous and File to make it to this window, and with the second window vault, I mean, that's it. He just can't catch me anymore. And I think at this point, yeah, Shad's able to shad it up with the Lanternus. Lanternus versus Nightmare is actually, I think it's pretty 50-50 when the Nightmare is at low presence, but when he's at full presence, I think it's actually pretty tough for Lanternus. But, you know, once again, we take him Hospital because what survivor wouldn't go Hospital? And Shad's doing a really good job of, you know, cutting line of sight. But at this point, I just think that it's over here. I think that it really is over. He does get the drop down end lag cancel trick, which is just really good, but has to chair Shad before he can teleport, which allows the rest of us to make it out here. I don't know if Adra went for a crazy hover escape here. Let's see. No, okay. They just went for a regular little hover there. Gotcha. I think there are some crazy hover escapes that you can do, but probably just wanted to play it safe there. But yeah, you know, another Hospital kite with full kite Prospector against a low tier Hunter. I mean, what can I say, bro? We're desperate for wins out here, let me tell you. Okay, on to the next match here. This was, you know, see how we're kind of balancing out our team comp. We kind of have Mim on the Enchantress. We usually try to get Mim to take kite with the Enchantress. We actually had Shad playing Seer today, which is actually pretty helpful for us quite a bit. Seer's such a broken character. I'm just sticking with the Antique Dealer with the three main harassers, and then Adra sticking with that Aeroplanist. So as you can see, we're kind of sticking to the things that we know. Unfortunately, though, I think this is a relatively short kite here from Mim, especially with the Insolence. I mean, the Insolence makes things a little tricky here. And then, I mean, that's just going to be basically a down. So that was pretty tough. The Insolence really just hurting there, not allowing to walk over that bomb. So it's not the best kite, unfortunately. Now with the 3-stack, we were like, okay, we have 3-stack potential. We can actually still do well here, because 3-stack equals you have a good chance to rebound, or at least you can force tree. However, this puts pressure on Adra since Adra's quite far away from the chair. But you know, Adra's Aeroplanist is just really good. I think they're actually S2 Aeroplanists right now. So, you know, their Aeroplanist is really good. If I'm kind of just like, whenever I see Adra going for like a rescue, I just kind of have to be like, yeah, you got that. I believe you got that. Which, you know, it's a lot of pressure rescuing. It really is. But you know, they've been doing a great job at it. We do get the rescue. However, it is going to be a double down. But against Bonbon, you know, that's just something that you gotta accept sometimes. It just is something you gotta accept. Unfortunately, missing out the flywheel there is a little unfortunate. We actually did burn our 3-stack, canceling the attack recovery onto the Aeroplanist there earlier, which is a little unfortunate. But at this point, we have, I think we were just planning to full-on sell this, if I remember correctly. I was just planning on to full-on sell this here, while Shad would heal up Adra. and then I would just decode. It's like, okay, this is fine. Let's just make sure we have our ciphers here. I think Bonbon has like maybe vague tinnitus, so he doesn't wanna leave the chair. Once nobody rescues, now he can leave the chair. And I think he warps straight to the Bonbon. I remember I was like, hey guys, we actually have a good chance of tying this because this is where Bonbon's at his weakest, and then he warps, and I was like, uh-oh, not good. So it's kind of up to the next kite and next rescue to really try to get this draw. That's the biggest thing. Next kite, next rescue have to be good. But you know, Adra's in a new area, and we do still have Owl to work with, which is really good. That's the biggest thing is we have resources, we have Owl, and we have accelerated decoding. So the kites don't have to be insane. It just has to be like good enough, right? That's the thing. It just has to be good enough. So we're just going crazy with the jetpacks here, and I believe we get the bird right there. That was just a really good bird from Shad. Honestly, if that was my seer, I probably would not have set the bird because I thought Adra would have made the vault in time. But it did stall for a good amount of time, and we're dodging the time bomb here, which just delays this kite for even longer, which is really what we needed here. Adra's doing so well, delaying the down. And I did go for a triple bomb setup, those are really hard to dodge. However, now we have to get the rescue, but I realized, oh wait, the cipher right here is primed. We can just cheekily get this one primed, and then Shad can finish the other one. So we're actually in a really good position here. We're in a good tie position here, especially since he doesn't have an immediate trait ready. Although we did not know he had no detention. So at this point, I think I was just trying to like burn out some bombs here, and then I knew he was gonna go for that, so we do that. I say pop, because he's still in attack recovery. Now for some reason, the Bonbon decides to chase me. I don't know why he does. This was what set us up for a really good position here. You should have chased the aeroplane. Like, you should have chased the aeroplane every time. I think the reason why is because I was at half health. I jump over that bomb. And then barely able to make that window, just barely, thanks to, I'm guessing, the flute speed boost. I see that he's gonna go for the warp here, and I'm just gonna go around, bro. I'm not dealing with that, bro. I'm just gonna go around, wait out the bomb, and then unfortunately do get hit by the other bomb there, which is a little unfortunate. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna pray the dungeon's right here, because I still got flute, I still got flywheel. It's time, bro. It is time. Go for one stun right there. Flywheel for a little bit of distance. Flute unfortunately hit a wall, but he wasn't fully looking. I get the last flute and I hit him and the bombs at the same time. I'm like, yo, get out, the dungeon's here. And it was a perfectly timed dungeon escape, bro. Oh my gosh. It was a little bit of panic kiting, but I'm glad that I recognized at least what to do there in the end to be able to just barely be able to make it to the dungeon, which was really nice. And next match, this time, we got Ann Gaming. Ann Gaming, bro. Ann Gaming. She used carrots gaming. So this time, I was actually happy to not go up against like a S-Badge, like a Fafa Ann. I was actually scared if this is gonna be Fafa, but I don't think Fafa runs the skin too often. So I'm playing Meteor this time because our random has a forward. And like I said earlier, when our random goes Harasser, I usually tend to play Novelist or Meteor here. Now watch this actually in slow motion. This is actually really depressing. So the thing about Meteorologist versus Ann is that I feel like Meteor probably has like a pretty good matchup. But the thing what an Ann can do is if I don't time my Gale perfectly, she can do a seal into jump. If you don't know, Ann can actually seal the cat's disable abilities and then jump afterwards if her ping is good enough. Unfortunately though, look at this. This actually is really depressing. So what I do here is like once I see the red light, I think I try to go for the Gale, but she seals my abilities after I toss the Gale, but the Gale doesn't come out and it used up the bottle. I was like, what? I was so mad, bro. I was like, I'm on cooldown now. Oh my gosh. Anyways, go back to normal speed here. I remember just being like really like, oh my gosh, are we serious? She goes for a greedy charge attack there, which actually gives me a little bit more distance here, and I just run straight line, miss the cats, go for the wind blast, and just play things very safe. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm like after that first wind blast miss, I was like, okay, I just gotta play things safe right here. My team tells me that warp's gonna be ready soon, and I think the Ann does try to go for a warp here, but I was ready for it because my team just told me, which is really good. And then I go for the Gale right now because I just want to delay the jump, which he does go for the jump here, but I'm just barely able to drop the pallet and not get stunned, which is really good. So forcing out the warp and not taking any hits just yet is really good. And at this point, she goes for another charge attack, doesn't get it, and I just need to mind game around these pallets now. I'm just like, okay, it's mind gaming time. Let's just loop around these pallets here for a little bit and try to see if we can force out one more set of cats. which I do. I'm just like, okay, I'll just take the cats. And then I have to run through the middle, because I heard that Basin was graveyards, and I don't really like running through the middle. There's not really much here to work with. But I did not want to die in Basement. So that was kind of my goal right here. So we go upstairs. We're able to dodge yet another pair of cats by going upstairs, which is really, really good. And then I just got to try to make my way over to the 11 area, which is not really a good spot against Anne. It's actually like, I would say it's pretty bad. But it would have, if I got there just in time, it would have at least let me force out one more pair of cats. I was actually really surprised the forward didn't try to harass this, by the way. Because I'm pretty sure he could have just easy forced out some cats, but I think he just wanted to play it safe here. The ciphers were pretty good. I remember like in this match, I was like, wow, our cipher rush is like really, really good this match. Because normally our cipher rush is not this good. It really is. Because my kite was like, I mean, it was a good kite, but it didn't really, like while I was cutting, it didn't feel good, probably just because of the stun miss there. Really good play by this forward, by the way. This was like a champion, nearly S-badge forward. So that was just a really, really good play from this forward. Not only that stun doesn't only just stall the chair, but it also, like, you know, provides the same amount of distance that I would have had. Gets another stun right there to try to interrupt the cats, and then he gets the pallet stun. So like, huge shout out to this forward. I go for the stun there to stall at the cat, and then the forward goes for another stun. So this forward was just like absolutely cooking right here. And at this point, I'm just vaulting back and forth, stalling out the thing. Forward goes for one more stun. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to die away from the gates because another cipher is about to be primed to go for a little cheeky cat dodge right there. And I tell my team to pop. I think there's a bit of miscommunication, so the pop is super late. But they do get the pop. And because of bar time, I'm able to make it here to this area. And I tell my team at this point, I can only live for 10 more seconds. Scratch that, 2. So at this point, I just have to play a pallet mine game. That's all I have left. We go for the double cats. I burn both, so she can't jump. Get hit. And since both gates are basically going to be open here, we are going to be able to snag the win. But I was just really impressed by the Cypher Rush in this game and the forward support. The Cypher Rush specifically was just absolutely insane. Because when I was kiting, I remember I was like, my kite didn't even feel that good. It felt like just decent. But they like 3 ciphers popped, even though like I missed my first wind gale. So I don't know. I was pretty happy with it. Next match here. This is going to be Clown on Moonlit. I remember being really scared about this because Archer versus Clown is a difficult matchup when kiting. Because you have to be very, very good as the Archer. Archer should technically win the matchup, but it's very hard when a Clown's already dashing. Because if he's like juking around like crazy, it's terrifying, bro. So for me, I just hide. I just like, I'm not going to take kite. I'm just going to hide. And he's going straight for the dock. I think it was like Adra thought they were gonna get chased, but no, it's gonna be going for the doctor, which we do give her a bit of a heads up here, which is quite nice. So this is our random, you know, just the dock. It's a full kite dock. They actually do manage to get to the drop down spot there, which is really, really good. I don't know if they make this pallet though. Let's see. They do not make the pallet, but because it's doctor, she actually even if she's drilled, which is not here, but even if she's drilled, doctor is immune to healing debuffs, to my knowledge. So she's kind of just chilling. Although the Clown does predict her route fully, which was pretty bad. So not the best, but I believe we tell her about the blink, and then I think she flywheels blink, but unfortunately is unable to get to the pallet in time. The Clown was just a little bit too fast there. So I mean that's a good kite, right? He's a full presence though, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's a good kite. You know, like this is tieable. This is very tieable. All we need to do is not get like cheesed on the rescue. Now, Adra greeds a little bit for the Cypher here, which is fine because he chaired near Adra, and Adra does have the jetpack here to work with, or the hover, I should say. So even if Clown tries to cut him off, he has the jetpack, which is just really, really good. The blink is forced out, so he goes to the jetpack here. Really, really good jetpack. I think Clown just goes for the hit right there. And then this is where no greedy comes in. The Clown actually goes for Adra. Doesn't get the hit because Clown's hitbox is so bad. His base hitbox is just so bad. It's really fast, but it's really bad. It kind of makes up for it. Like, usually characters with fast hitboxes usually have bad hitboxes unless your name is Naiad for some reason. And then I'm like, okay. The dock has so much distance. You know what time it is, bro. It's Archer time. So I see him putting on parts. I'm just going to hit him. The more the doctor has time to heal, the better. So he got another set of laceration there because my put on more laceration at the very second that it ended. That was actually just a little lucky for me. I just was trying to cancel it in general. But the thing about Archer is that his Archer versus Clown is the laceration when he's dashing accumulates so fast. You'll see it right here because I go for another shot to give Doctor more time to heal. Look at this. He doesn't even get the pallet with his rocket. That's how fast it accumulates, dude. That's how fast. I don't know what's going on with the random 50 though. That's kind of weird. I guess that's just a bug. I guess it's gone now. And you see, there it is again. It just goes away. So we've gotten 4 stuns with that laceration, which is just really, really good. And we get the flywheel, which is just like, you know, just more and more, bro. More and more, we're just trying to support this Doc. And the Doc got the full heal. Like, she's chilling right now. This Doc is chilling. Like, her flywheel's coming back up. She's near the coaster. And she still has both of her little apple juices. Like, she has all the apple juice in the world, bro. If Doc is hungry for the apple juice, she gets all of it. So she gets more of her little heals there. And then at this point, I'm trying to body block. And then I'm just like, okay, I'll just get on that little coaster there with you. Maybe could have got the Terror Shock on me in time, but even if he did, he would have gained nothing from it because, like, we just send in Mim to rescue. I guess maybe it would have been an after rescue, but, like, you know, our Cypher Rush was just so good that I don't really think it would have mattered even if I got TS there, but, you know. It would have been a gamble. It would have been a gamble for the Clown, that's for sure. So at this point, because we got all that distance, Doc can now heal once again. Except he decides, I think, to go for Adra's Cypher here instead, and Adra's not really in the best of positions, so I believe they just go down right here unless they go for, yeah, I don't think they went for, like, the cheeky wall slide or anything like that. And then the game, I think, just kind of slows down at this point because we have to start a new Cypher since Adra's chaired on it, but the biggest thing is, like, he's no longer on the Daunch, and the Daunch was just kind of hiding there for a while after that we just kind of decide to, you know, we're chilling again, you know, we're chilling here just for a bit. We have to get the rescue with the Enchantress here. And then I remember thinking, it's like, oh, is it going to be abnormal? Not quite, but he gave out a free rescue, which was just really not good. I mean, the Clown really just needs to no greedy here. I mean, the Clown's control was really, really good, but I think it was just the no greedy. Going back for the Doctor here, though, I let the Doctor take the hit, and then I start body blocking here, just dropping pallets, making sure to get as much distance for the Doctor as possible, because that's what you do. To give the Doctor the heals in time. He does TP back to the Cypher, and at this point the Clown is like grasping at straws because our advantage state is just like really, really good here. Adra does go down again because, again, Arrow Punish versus Clown doesn't really have much to work with there, but then we kind of just keep stalling it out here with the Enchantress. I'm surprised that hit actually hits Mim. Is kind of silly. We do get the stun cancel though, unfortunately. Not the best, but at this point the Cypher is basically primed. We know that the Clown has no detention because we've heard Insolence and Trump Card. So we know there's no detention. We get the hit. We go for the pop. Doctor kind of just runs past him. And at this point, he's just going to be stuck on our arrow finish. And I still have one arrow because I'm just like, okay, we can go for the 4. Because all I got to do is just body block, shoot him, flywheel, and then we just get out. And it should be a 4. Although I think Adra just kites long enough, and then I think he just surrenders here. Yeah, he just surrendered. So, you know, a few mistakes from the Hunter there, but I remember being really, really happy about the supports. Especially since Archer paired with the Doctor just seems really, really good, bro. Because they're forced to stand still. They're forced to respect the Archer. And the Doctor can just keep on healing and just being an absolute menace. Anyways, that's been a lot of our matches. I would have shown you more of our losses, but losses aren't really that fun to watch. They're good to, like, watch when we lose, and it's like, we can learn from it, but a lot of the mistakes that we were doing was just like miscommunication or just being out of position, as opposed to, like, you know, better routes or mechanical skill, at least for a lot of our games. But regardless, I think that's going to be it for today. So let me know what you thought about the games. I'll keep on doing these rank reviews throughout this season since Koa is, you know, coming up around the horizon. So I don't know. I'm working really hard to better my harassment. Our teamwork is getting better. So hopefully that win rate will be a little bit higher in the future. We'll see in about a week or so. I don't know. But that's it for me, though. I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.